offered to them by the government?
Well, I don't know where the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Hassan Joho, gets the time to even insult Kenyans on social media. Because those Kenyans who are on social media, if he says that they are idle because leaders like him who are corrupt have made it impossible for those young people to get opportunities, so they have a lot of time to be on social media. Secondly, I don't think that his level of education and intellect is one that would want to argue with. Okay, we are definitely more informed than he is, so we'd like him to attend classes so that we just educate him a little bit about our country. For example, I can educate him that there is 8.7 trillion worth of niobium at Mrima Hill in Lunga Lunga constituency in Kwale County that he needs to safeguard. There is money that is supposed to be remitted to the Kenyan government by Base Titanium, which has been doing mining operations in Kwale County and is winding up its operations this year. There is gold in Transmara constituency. There is even gold in Western Province. There is oil in Turkana. I believe his plate is full. Where he gets the time to do these kind of things is what I do not know. I believe he has a lot in terms of safeguarding our natural resources and not participating in corruption or in online social media skits with young people who are unemployed because of corrupt leaders like himself. So it will be unworthy of the Inject Party to engage with Ali Hassan Joho. We are a national party. Him is only a kingpin of some area in the coast of people, actually, few people who believe in him. So we believe that even if we went to an election with Ali Hassan Joho, he would not garner a quarter of what we would garner in that election. So in this interview, it's completely worthless to have him as a conversation. He is just in the cabinet because he belonged to ODM and ODM was bought into the coalition government. If ODM was not bought into the coalition government, he would probably be still doing the same social media that he is insulting people for. Yeah, so Ali Hassan Joho should get his act together, and President William Ruto should prevent his ministers, cabinet secretaries like Ali Hassan Joho, from insulting Kenyans who are already angry and hungry from the collapsing economy. Should control them. Needs to be controlled.
My last question. This one is in regards to a certain statement that was published yesterday in regards to one CEO of David Group of Companies, Red Veraba. The government of Kenya exempted him from taxes worth 11 billion Kenyan shillings. And their main reason for exempting him from paying taxes worth 11 billion Kenyan shillings is that they are trying to attract more investors into the country. What is your take on that, knowing that the president has been pushing it so hard for every Kenyan to be taxed? And also my last question is, Inject Party really a registered party? Because according to the statement that was given yesterday, is that Inject Party has not yet been approved by the government of the Republic of Kenya as a party.
So with regards to, those are two questions.
Yeah.
With regards to taxation, I believe one of my team members can answer. With regard to registration, I believe that falls in the docket of the Secretary General. So I don't know who will handle taxes. Sorry?
Let me also challenge this point.
Okay. You can come closer to them. Oh, okay. Oh, she can.
Oh, you want to speak?
Okay, just go ahead.
Okay, now with regards to, let's start with the party registration first of all. So party registration in Kenya, it's a process. It's not a one-day event. So you first start with the name reservation, then you reserve the symbol, you reserve your slogans, you reserve your party colors. So Inject Party, where it is right now, is at the registration of the symbols, colors, and slogans. The next, and those have been approved by the Registrar of Political Parties. The next process will now be to upload our constitution and certain party documentation, together with the list of the founders and all that. And once that is complete, we will now proceed now to get a provisional certificate. Once you get a provisional certificate, we now start the recruitment drive for all Kenyans, go county by county, registering people into our political party. And then finally, we will now get our final registration certificate. So it's a process. We can't complete. There's no political party in Kenya that has ever been registered within a month. It's practically impossible. We are in the process of registering the party, but we have the name reservation, the party slogans, the party colors, and the party symbol all reserved. Yes. With regards to
Taxation?
On the question on taxation, this is what we would say. There are laws on how somebody can be exempted from tax obligations. So it really will be important for us to understand and to verify that the president, in making that decision to exempt that particular individual from tax obligation, that he followed the set regulations when it pertains to tax law. Yes.
And you know, it actually speaks volumes. Exempting taxes for billionaires while increasing taxes for ordinary Kenyans, that tells you that this is a government that doesn't care at all about the ordinary mwananchi. So it's alarming. The reasoning and the rationale behind it, of course, it will be all create jobs, but it's basically the classic move of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer.
Yeah, actually, let me just on the same point about the taxation. Sorry, I'm Wafula Nangacho. I'm the communications director of the Inject Movement and Party. So to add on the taxation issue, actually that's the exact definition of state capture, where individuals are using their own connections and links to influence policies, because that is a policy that they are trying to sneak in through KRA, so that they can exempt a particular person to have an effect most of their policies and laws that they are bringing in. They are laws that are making someone somewhere a billionaire. When they come up with what we call a shift project or shisha or shia, what they are doing exactly is they are bringing a system that will bring a new set of people so that they can control the funds, and they are forcing people. Because I had the advisor, he's one of his advisors, Moses Kura, I don't know what he advises him. He said students will not be allowed to report to school when they have not been registered on the shift system. So what exactly they are doing, they are trying to use the parliament and the executive to bring laws so that they can make money for themselves. When the president pushes for a policy like the new funding model, he's trying to push people to make education very expensive for the public universities, and at the same time, he's building a very big university at the US in Gisho or Eldoret. And that is where he wants to do it, because we will all study. What he will do, education becomes expensive at Moi University and University of Eldoret, and he makes it cheap at his own university, and people will go there and he'll make money. So it's a very sad state of affairs, and we need to call them out. We need to make sure the policies that come in place, they are favorable to each and every person, not one particular person or one particular group of people. Thank you.
More questions?
One question from me. You said that the people that held presser yesterday some of them were part of your team. Maybe you can just tell us maybe when last did they participate, and what roles were they playing on your party, and why did they leave?
Okay, so I think that one is meant for me.
Yeah.
Or you will answer? Yes. Mr. Mugane will answer for me.
Good evening,
I can
members
answer
of the press.
very well, but you can do.
I'm Mugane Mugo. I'm in charge of membership and mobilization, which is an interim position in this party. So, first of all, I want to echo the words of our party leader. Whatever we do in this movement, we do it on voluntary basis. We don't expect payment or reimbursement of whichever kind. So when we have people that have joined the movement and they expect that they will gain some financial, or they expect some financial miracle to happen from us, it is impossible. In fact, some of these people and some of us who are called into those meetings, some of these people have been bought, and the change of lifestyle is evident. I've seen some of them opening new businesses. I've seen some of them with very expensive watches, which is a miracle that cannot happen within a month of someone that was borrowing fare to come here. So For us, we are adamant, we are committed to the cause. We cannot be bought because the freedom of this country is not worth any amount of money. Secondly, I cannot even remember the last time these people it's 29
September.
It's 29 September. It's a long time ago. It's a scheme they have been scheming behind closed doors to sabotage the movement. But what we tell the government as well is that you can buy a few individuals, but some of us that are committed to this cause, we are ready to defend our democracy. We are ready to fight corruption with whatever it takes. We are worth more than, those hundreds of thousands that are being dished out to our young people. Thank you.
There was also a claim by those who are your party members before that the money that Kenyans are contributing towards the civic education is being channeled to Morara's phone numbers, direct personal accounts, and they feel that there's not going to be a proper accountability. So
I think the party leader will answer that, but also to bring you up to speed, whatever happened in the last 6 or so months that the movement has been on, 3 months, he has published it in the social media. You saw the kilometers that we've covered, and actually even the M-Pesas that he has been using, they are prone to scrutiny. Anyone that wants those reports, as he said, can come here. And right now, the treasurer will handle that. There's a bank account that is in place, and it has the receipt.
Is that those phone numbers were my numbers before we started doing this. When we started, Kenya started donating to those numbers, I stopped using them for personal reasons, and now they were being used by the party. In fact, everybody here can say that they've had access to those phone numbers. In fact, even the messages you write to those phone numbers, Dalias has had, to read them, and then he briefs us on what is going on. So this is what happens. The reason we had to use a phone number to receive money is because, one, to avoid con men. Because when they send the money and the person they know is Morara, and they see the name imeleta kwa Mpesa Kebaso Morara, they develop a sense of trust. The second issue why we had to use those phone numbers is because we had a lot of support from the diaspora, which we still have to date. There are people who are in the US, who are in UK, who are in Germany, who support us and who support the movement to have fuel and to have security. So when they send, they usually use platforms like SendWave. Now on SendWave, you cannot send to a pay bill, and you cannot send to a till. You cannot send to a phone number. And that phone number has to be registered to an individual. Even if it is not Morara, it has to be someone else. So what we did is we created a 14-member team where 7 people come from Inject and 7 people come from the diaspora. So we have a team of 14 people, 7 who live outside Kenya and 7 who are here. And the 14-member committee, what it does is that they budget for money every month. They say, this is what we need. We need to pay watchmen, we need to pay security, we need to pay internet, we need to pay electricity, and we need fuel. We want to do this and this and this civic education in this and this and this place. Once they do the budgeting, then the expenditure is not even done by me. By then, I'm not the one who usually pays. We have our finance director here, Farida. She's the one we call. Even when we are at the petrol station, she's the one we send the till number, then she pays from our kitty. Then all the payments we've ever made, the receipts are there. So what we usually do every month, we usually sit down in the boardroom, we put together the receipt and we create an accountability report. The reason maybe some people feel left out in terms of this accountability is because we are limited. Our hands are tied as regards to how much we can share with you or with the general public. The reason is some of this information is very sensitive and it is critical to our security. For example, where we slept, for example, where we slept and where we paid to sleep is very critical information. Where we fuel, all right, or which car was fueled. Sometimes we leave our own cars here and we borrow cars for security purposes. So for that reason, if we publish all information just because we want to make so and so happy, at the end of the day, we'll be compromising our own security. And that is why whenever I post to request for financial support, I usually say, support us if you can trust us. So we believe that Kenyans still trust us because to this day, regardless of all the propaganda that goes on out there trying to tarnish our names, to this day, there are Kenyans who still believe in us and continue to support us, even today, even this morning, even 1 hour ago, even 20 minutes ago. There are Kenyans who send us 10 bob, 50 bob to support what we do. And we are putting together resources for different programs. For example, we are going to have Vijana Shika ID program, where we are going to encourage the youth to get IDs. We are going to have youth registration program to help the youth to register as, as voters. We are trying to put together a group of friends to come and support us so that we see whether we can have either a music studio or just cameras for shooting, for helping people with the talent to be able to shoot content in this place or even to record music in this place, just as a way of reaching out to the youth and lifting them up with us, because when we go up, we want to go up with them. So we have all these programs we are planning. So sometimes we even have resources in the bank account, but those resources cannot be used because they belong to a certain program and we cannot remove it and put it in fuel. Ni mara nyingi sana hata sisi wenyewe tumetumia fedha zetu sisi wote binafsi. Any Kenyan who is out there, who is watching us today, that feels that they really need this information. This is not information that you can publish on our website or on our social media, because this is information that will be accessed by both our friends and our enemies. Just come here, give us a notice 3 days in advance so that the person who's supposed to give you this information prepares the information for you. Come here, sit down even for 2 hours or 3 hours, go through our records, be satisfied, including you who are in the media sector. You can give us a 3-day notice, you can come, go through our records one by one, see what we received, how we spent it, what we did with it, be satisfied. At least that way, we will know who accessed our information, so that if we see is out there, tutajua so and so and so and so and so and so are the ones that have accessed this kind of information. I hope you understand. Asanteni sana. Sorry?
In addition to what he said, there's still accountability, documentation and financial reports that's usually published by him in social media. So there's nothing to hide. We are an open and accountable movement that is really strong in integrity, transparency, and accountability.
Any other? Any other question?
No question.
Thank you so much.